Hello and welcome to this tutorial about how to write excellent interview questions when you are trying to find out information from someone so that you are going to make sure that you're engaging with them and also finding out all of the details that you want to know. So first of all, rule number 1 should be that thou shalt avoid loaded or leading questions. So these are things where you're actually leading them to a response that you want to hear. So an example of this would be something like, how much do you enjoy working with children? So this is a loaded question because the word enjoy in here is suggesting that they should definitely enjoy their job. We would be hoping when we're interviewing these people that obviously they do. That's why they've come along to share this with you. But another way of phrasing this might be, what are the aspects of your job that made you want to do it, or what are the best and the worst parts about working with children? Second is thou shalt honour the ordering of questions. So there is no point asking things in a jumbled manner that are going to confuse the person that you are speaking to. So for example, if we ask the question, what are your goals for the future? And then after this we asked, when did you start teaching? For example, if we ask them in that order, then it's not going to make a whole lot of sense. We're asking about something that they've got to think about in the direction that they're going, and then we're asking them to think back. So if we switch those around, when did you start teaching? What are your goals for the future? It makes so much more sense to ask them in that order, and there would probably be some additional questions in the middle there as well. Next rule, thou shalt avoid non-specific questions. So I guess an example of something like this might be, this isn't even really a question as such, but something like, tell us about your job. That's really, it's good because it's an open question, but it's almost too open. You know, I would expect someone to respond by saying, what do you want to know exactly? So then you're going to have another question up your sleeve, or you might stumble and not know what to say, which is going to make you look a bit silly. So be really specific about what exactly you want to know about their job when you are asking them. Next one, thy question wording shall not be confusing. So make sure that when you are asking things, you are using language that is really clear. So you don't want to be using phrases and terms that is like you talk to your friends. So things like, do you think that in the future, down the track and stuff. You don't want to be using language that is going to, they're not going to understand it. Here we are. So if you ask something like this, it's you're not being clear with the way you're phrasing things. They will probably understand at the end of it, but they might actually ask you to clarify what you are meaning. So think about the way you're wording questions, write them down, and make sure that you follow the notes that you have actually written. Thou shalt not force respondents to answer. So things like saying, I didn't really get that answer, hurry up, we're running out of time, can you think a bit faster? Those types of things we do not want to hear you asking. So we will be seeing sad faces if you are being pushy or forceful or rude to your interviewees. They've taken time out to come and speak to you, so make sure that you're polite, you use excellent manners, and you're great role models. If there's a question that is a little bit personal, perhaps, respect their right to choose not to answer, particularly if they're working in fields where they are working with children. If it's in mental health care or something like that, there might be reasons why they can't answer particular questions. Thou shalt not ask a million questions that are all the same thing. So, especially because you are working in groups, you do not want to all be asking similar questions. So these are some examples of some things that are all asking similar things. So what do you enjoy? What is the best thing? That should be, what do you like the best? Are all examples of something it's trying to elicit the same response. You don't want them to be repeating things or saying you've already asked that question. You don't want them to be the only types of questions that everyone in the group is asking the same thing either. Thou shalt not be biased when asking for someone's opinion. So here you don't want to actually be stating to them what your opinion is about their job. So something like, do you think that working with kids is the best job in the world? So that might be, if you're thinking about going into education, that might be something that you think that's your opinion, but they might have gone into it for a different reason, or they might actually think that, or they might have worked in a different field before they did this one that they enjoyed even more, or whatever it might be. But keep your opinion out of the questions, and keep it so that you're actually eliciting what their opinion is, but not trying to persuade them or asking those biased questions. Thou shalt not ask closed questions that elicit one-word responses. So we all should know by this point what a closed question is. But this is one definitely that I really don't want to hear people saying. So something like, do you like your job? It's a yes or a no answer. And if they said no, I'm not quite sure why they would have volunteered to come along and to share their experiences about their industry and field of work with you. So simple yes or no answer responses like that. Do not ask those types of questions. Think a bit deeper and use the question matrix that you will have been given to help to guide you to ask those deeper, higher order thinking questions. Most importantly, care about the answers. This is a great opportunity for you to actually get some information from somebody that is in the field, in the industry that you might be interested in going into yourself into the future. People don't volunteer their time often. These people are taking time out, so care about what they have to say to you. And the last thing that I probably didn't actually write down on a slide was have fun. That should be our 10th commandment. Enjoy this experience. Be creative with your questions. Be creative with the way that you write them down, record your notes, so that you can go back over them and really think about what people are saying to you. And really enjoy this experience and get the most out of it. So think about these commandments of making sure that you are asking the right questions so that you're getting the answers and as much information from these wonderful people that are volunteering their time to come and talk to you. And have fun.